and his daughter, Haleigh. Give it up. So before the break, Jeff shared his family story and Harleigh's journey as a transgender teen. They're also from Alabama, just like Laverne. So is this kind of a big deal, meeting Laverne?
Oh my God, it's a big deal. Like whenever I first came out and started looking up like trans things, you're one of the first like trans figures in the media I met. And so like meeting you, you're one of my biggest role models transitioning. So it's so awesome.
Powerful. Well, tell us about you.
So I'm Haleigh, this is my dad. I'm 16. I'm a junior in high school, and like a few things about me, like mentioned earlier, I'm a huge Swiftie. I love Taylor Swift. We saw her in April at the Eras Tour.
Oh my gosh. Looking fabulous. I love it. The Friends.
That was awesome. I'm on the debate team. I love to argue so much. So
I bet that's fun at home, Dad.
That's where I met my big group of friends, and we, just hang out around town in Auburn. And yeah, it's a cool time. I just like to say that, like I'm your average teen girl, and I think that's like so important to share.
You think that gets lost on people?
Yeah, especially I came out at the end of elementary school, and so whenever I first was coming out like in public, I was in middle school, and so that's already a horrible time for like all students.
Puberty, man.
Yeah, puberty.
Yeah.
And so whenever I would go to school, I was like severely bullied for being trans. I didn't really have a big support system from the school either. And so it was just, I didn't really have anybody to go to or to talk to or have a resource to talk about these things. So my parents had to pull me out of school that year, and we had to go online in 6th grade. And while that was horrible, I think finding that support system with groups like PFLAG, with like a GSA, Gender Sexuality Alliance at school, like we have at our high school, finding those resources led me to be the happy trans person I am today. And I think that's something that also gets lost. We're trans, but we're also happy, thriving individuals. We don't just survive, we thrive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think a lot of what gets painted in the stories that you see in the media, especially in the conservative media, is that trans people are miserable in their lives. And I do a lot of work with PFLAG and with youth. That is so far from the truth. I look at my kid, and she's happy and thriving and doing all these incredible things. But I work with a lot of kids that don't have as much support. But they have these pockets where they're just teenagers and they're just kids, and they just, that's all they want to be, and they're happy. So that picture that all trans people are miserable couldn't be further from the fact.
Is this one of the reasons you feel like it's so important that y'all are advocating for families like yours?
Yeah, it's the biggest reason for us. Coming from a conservative area, and in light of like recent years, the past 2 years, there's been a lot of anti-transgender legislation and rhetoric in the media. And our state of Alabama was one of the first states to pass and introduce these anti-trans bills.
Which has to hurt. That's your
it's
home.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Those officials are elected to represent everyone, including trans people, and for them to attack us was horrible. And so we felt that because I had the privilege of having such a supportive family, and we knew we could share our story. So we went out to media. Over the past few years, we've been to DC several times, just sharing our story. This summer, I testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
You are so young to do that. Would terrify me.
I was the youngest person to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Oh my God.
So it was scary, but also it was like where I was like almost thriving.
Well, you love debate.
I love debate.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
And I've like been watching C-SPAN for years in politics, and that's what I want to do whenever I grow older. So like,
oh, that's incredible. Yeah. Especially to be representing the trans community in that sense too. Yeah.
Being able to share my story, and because a lot of trans people can't at such a national level, and like at this show, the Clarkson show, being able to share my story has been so
rewarding. I'm over here crying, and and they're happy tears. They're complicated tears. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you so much for supporting your child. This is, yes, I want to be an actor, but like, with the platform I have, this is what I dream of. I dream of seeing young people getting to thrive and be themselves and have space, and that their parents who will support them. And when I think about you being this beautiful spirit, that who would bully this girl? And it's 87% of trans kids are bullied in school. It's horrible and awful, but this light is so beautiful.
Right.
And when there is love and support, we can do anything. So it's just like, how can people look at this young person and deny her humanity? And so I just wish that everybody had this.